Before we get into the video, make sure y'all like, subscribe if you're new. I mean, come on, what are you doing if you're not? Sub to me by now. My content is fire. From Transformers news videos, stop motions, tour reviews, tour photography breakdowns, music occasionally. My Instagram and TikTok are all linked down below. And yeah, let's get straight to it. Okay, so got quite a few things to talk about here for the toys of Rise of the Beast, some studio series, some mainline, so let's get into it. So we have some in-package shots of Airazor, RC, and Battle Trap, and some others I think too that we're going to get into. So Airazor, we got some minor changes. You know, Airazor takes up some of the Transformers logo right here, which is interesting, kind of cool. And here is the backdrop. It's sort of like what we see in the Rise of the Beast trailer when Optimus Primal and Optimus Prime have that little face-off in the beginning of the trailer. And then here is RC. A nice new, well, I don't know if this is new. I think this was on the t-shirt, but a nice little CG render of RC here on that road, presumably the scene that we'll see where she's hanging off a wheeljack and she's shooting at Battle Trap and stuff, which seems like it might be a pretty cool highway chase scene. And then there's what might be the backdrop. So yeah, they're definitely sort of mimicking that scene that we also see in the trailer, which is pretty cool. Why is she smiling like that, though? Why is she making that face? That's a little weird. That's a little sus. And then there's Battle Trap. I think we already saw the box for him not too long ago. And then there's the backdrop, which is the museum fight scene. And then there's some more shots for Cheetor and Bumblebee. This is Bumblebee's backdrop, which is the volcano thing that we sort of see in the trailer, but not really. And then there's Cheetor, same backdrop as Airazor. And there's the packaging for B, number 100. And then there's Cheetor, 98. And then Cheetor again sort of goes over the Transformer logo with his paw a little bit. And in other news, we have some in-hand shots of the mainline Voyager classes for Optimus Prime and RHINOX. First up, let's look at Optimus Prime here, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on it, as always. So Optimus, he looks cool. I mean, when I first saw this, when I first woke up in the morning, I thought, oh wow, this is a great-looking Voyager class figure, but once you start to look at it a little more and pay attention to the details and how this figure is put together, and I just hope this is a little bit cheaper than the regular stuff, which I'm pretty sure it is since it's mainline. He's mostly casted in gray plastic. Think about that for a little bit. It seems like the only other colored plastic that we have here besides the gray is maybe the black for the tires, the red for his forearms, and the clear blue plastic, which I wouldn't be surprised if that clear blue plastic breaks on a lot of people within a year or two. So, but yeah, most of the red is painted on there. Most of the blue is painted on there. I mean, just look at the legs there. And that coat of paint doesn't look too solid on the feet and the lower legs. So, and then on the back of the packaging, which we saw and talked about yesterday, there's paint missing on him, which isn't anything new. That's happened before in the past with many other figures, but he's missing the yellow paint that we see on the packaging on his crotch area, and then there's some silver paint missing in some spots, and the gray plastic that you see in the render is much darker and richer looking and overall better looking than the gray plastic that they use here. The gray here looks very cheap, and it just does not look good. This reminds me of movie figures that we would get during Age of Extinction or the Last Night days, which I just don't like the way this looks or feels. And the back of the truck, it's a kibbly mess. His feet are just sticking straight up there, and I just don't like the way this looks. And the guardrail things or the armor in front of his truck is barely even pronounced. It's just minor sculpted detailing with no paint. For a figure that's presumably going to be about $30, a few dollars cheaper than what the Generation stuff is, I mean, this is a bit jarring to me that, you know, $30 like a year and a half ago got us a full-blown, well-built, designed, and painted Voyager class figure, and nowadays, I don't know, man, it's a bit weird to me. But he does have ab crunch, which is kind of cool, I guess. But Then that makes you start to wonder, why don't we get that with other Voyager class figures that cost even more? And why don't we get that with other figures like leader classes? So I'm not even going to get really hyped about that, because, you know, if you do it for a mainline Voyager class that's a little cheaper, why don't you do it for the other one? I don't know. I'm just rambling at this point, but then there's packaging, which we saw, and then there's the back of him, which reminds me of Earthrise Optimus a little bit, with the wheels behind his butt area or his lower back. So it definitely seems like they're taking design cues from the Masterpiece Bumblebee movie Optimus and the Earthrise Optimus while making it a little bit new. And then this is the thing that really drove home to me that, yeah, this is definitely going to be a lot cheaper, or a little bit cheaper than the Generations Voyager classes. He is like an inch shorter than the regular Voyager class Optimus Primes here. He's pretty small for a Voyager class. This is like the size of a deluxe class figure that would cost like $14 just a few years ago. And I know I seem like a weirdo right now, you know, comparing prices, but I mean, it's just, things are just changing with Hasbro that, I don't know. I just don't want to get too into it, because, you know, I love talking positive about these figures, and there are a lot of things I love, but it's just weird seeing all these changes the past couple of years with pricing and quality. It's just very rapid and nothing like we've seen before. And now on to RHINOX. Here's some of the packaging, which we did see yesterday. And then there he is in packaging. I'm surprised that the horn piece is a separate piece, or considered sort of an accessory. So maybe he uses that as a weapon in the movie. So it does plug into his shoulder there, which is interesting. A lot of nice sculpted details and some nice paint in there too. And yeah, he looks alright. I mean, about on par with Optimus, an okay looking mainline figure. Nothing crazy, but nothing bad at all. Definitely what we've been used to with Voyager class RHINOX figures the past close to a decade now, since the Thrilling 30 release. So there's nothing really new or crazy about the engineering, other than the rhino horns being on his shoulders rather than the back this time around, which he does have ankle pivot, which is nice. The head sculpt, he looks like he's mean mugging a little bit. His mouth is a little crooked there. He looks a bit mean. He looks pretty serious. And then the guns, it looks like they might spin. I'm not too sure. Okay, this is good. At least he's the same height as the a little bit more expensive Generations RHINOX, so they're about the same size and mass, which is nice. That is a nice touch. But he is a little bit smaller in Rhino mode, which, whatever, it is what it is. So it seems like RHINOX, in terms of sculpting and paint and overall size, might be a bit more bang for your buck for a mainline Voyager class figure. And it's got me thinking right now, what if we start getting Voyager classes for the cartoon mainline stuff, like with Earthspark, and maybe they're going to go back and do some for Cyberverse or Robots in Disguise, who knows? Definitely got me thinking that they might be expanding the simplified mainline stuff to Voyager class and maybe even Leader class at some point too, considering they're already starting to do it with the movie stuff. So your guess is as good as mine. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys think that'll happen. And let me know down in the comments below, how do you guys feel about these mainline Voyagers for RHINOX and Optimus Prime? And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!